Dale, fight number 14 coming up on June the 16th down at a regular place for you at Blackpool Bolton Arena, isn't it?
Yeah, the
White's Hotel.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Against probably your best opponent to date.
Yeah, certainly the most experienced opponent I've had. You know, he's had 30 fights or thereabouts around there. So it's the most experienced. And on paper, yeah, it's probably my toughest test.
Well, I think he's had 32 fights. He's got 20 wins, 11 losses. And I think a draw in his record. But the losses tend to come against the better people. Certainly in his second half of his career.
Yeah.
Early on in his career, he had a sort of like a 50-50 record, and perhaps got people that, when you look further down the line, wouldn't have beat him. But certainly his last two opponents, which he lost a close decision to Andrew Robinson for, I think it was the IBO Continental title, and that kid's fighting Mark Efron on the night your stablemate Teddy Flanagan fights for his second world title.
Yeah, so like you say, he only gets beat from good kids. But if I want to push on myself, I've got a bit expected to beat him and do it in reasonable fashion, really.
Well, I think you actually have got a win over one of the guys who beat him, which was Ben Davis, early on in his career, probably about 4 or 5 years ago now. But since then, like you said, he's gone on to improve himself and develop quite a good record. Like I say, I think 7 of his 11 losses came really early on in his career. And since he's been beat by Tommy Langford, he's done pretty well. Yeah,
like you say, he could have started off not really wanting to do much in the sport, maybe going on the road, and then when he got a couple of wins, he kicked on from there. You know, I don't really know too much about him.
I've got him on Facebook. I think he's what, about 31, isn't he now? 31, 32, and he's just had a good couple of good opportunities come his way. Like I say, he slips up and I think it was a points decision to that Andrew Robinson, and I was speaking to quite a few people who were at that show, and they all seemed to think he'd won that fight. So he was a little bit unfortunate there, and then he steps in with Liam Conroy, who is actually on form as a middleweight now. He's come down from super middleweight and just picked up the Commonwealth title, and I think he stopped him in the second round.
Yeah, that's probably the only fight I've seen, to be honest. Steve showed me the other day. Don't know too much about him, but like you say, he takes some opportunities. He's going to be coming to win a live opponent who's like, if he beats me, you know, he can go on. He can
That's the thing.
Another opportunity. So
I think he's good enough to fight these guys, but they feel confident in beating him. But he's putting himself in that position to get those opportunities. So to stay in that position, he's got to beat you.
Yeah, exactly. So he's going to come. He's got more than enough behind him to, you know, get up and come and beat me. So he'll come with just as much ambition as I will. He needs to win just as much as I do. So it should turn out to be a good fight.
Well, the last time was this the last time here when you fought Anthony Fox? Was that your last time down at this venue?
It might have been. I've had a couple of fights there.
Because Anthony Fox, you stopped
there last year.
Yeah, you stopped him in the second round, didn't you?
Yeah.
He's developing a little bit of a record. I think he's got 4 fights on the bounce where he's won.
Yeah, he was telling me before. When I beat him, he was already he had 1 fight and won it and beat it like a good kid.
He was one of our fighters, Morgan Jackson.
So hopefully he can kick on. He can get some decent opportunities himself.
Well, I mean, you're at a stage now. We're hoping this is going to be made as an eliminator for the English title, which is a title that you said you've set your target on. You'd love to try and pick that title up before the end of the year, if possible.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we was looking for that Central Area title, but that just never materialised. So we'll push on for this, try and make this an eliminator, get down to the weight, a bit of a test run, really.
So, this is going to be made at 11 stone 6, is it? The middleweight division?
Yeah, we'll be hoping so. I think if it's an eliminator, we'll be making the limit. I mean, I'm on track to do that anyway, you know.
Obviously, you were going to fight for the Central Area last time, but that didn't happen. Daryl Sharp, when did he pull out? About a week before, was it, or something?
Yeah, well, Matty Ryan pulled out around 10 days before, and then was meant to fight Daryl Sharp. He pulled out a couple of days before, so.
But you end up fighting, it was on Pat Barrett's show, was it Julius Caesar or something?
Yeah.
You stopped him?
Yeah, late notice. I mean, he was an awkward opponent as well. when we spoke about him to other people who'd sparred with him, they said, "Oh yeah, he's just really awkward." So that was it was another test, you know, couple of days notice, in with an awkward opponent, but I'd done the job, stopped him in the second round. So
nice. Was it your third stoppage?
Yeah, it was, yeah. But,
do you think they might come a bit more now because you're down at this weight, you're at middleweight, and you're going to be bigger and stronger at it? Do you feel?
Yeah, I feel a lot bigger at this weight, more powerful. You know, got a bit more authority over my opponents down at this weight. And yeah, I think as the rounds get longer and I get into my rhythm, I reckon people will start struggling with me in the middle to late rounds. So I think the last couple of fights, Davis and Daryl Sharp, I felt like they was on the verge. They could have been on the verge of being stopped, you know, at certain stages. So yeah, I think they will come gradually, but we just look to go out and box, get the win. Most importantly, if the stoppage comes, it comes.
Yeah, well, like I say, it's a good place to be in, and we were just talking before again about, you know, future opponents, and we got on the night that Teddy fights, there's Jack Flatley fighting Troy Williamson. I presume that's going to fight. You're going to be interested because maybe somewhere down the line that might be your opponent if you fight for that English title.
Yeah, I mean, any of them, you know what I mean, whoever comes out as the winner. There's so many names, you know, down at middleweight who are around my area now. A couple of fights and then they're looking for titles as well. So there's a great mix, but like you say, as long as there's a title on the line or something along those lines, I think any fights could be made down there, yeah.
Well, like I say, well, obviously the winner of that fight, they're going to be looking to be fighting for titles.
Yeah.
And you know, you're looking for that English title, so maybe that's something that can be made on some of the big shows. Maybe if Teddy wins and wants to defend that title, maybe that could be on the undercard.
Yeah, I mean, it's worthy of it, isn't it?
Definitely.
There's a couple of good fighters there now where it's worthy of a title and a bit of TV time as well. So.
And how's training gone for this fight, mate?
Great. I mean, I've been training now for getting on, I think, 9 or 10 weeks. You know, I've been in with Tedder, I was just ticking over, and then when we did get a day ourselves, we stepped it up a bit. But I'm right where I want to be now, really. Yeah. And
will this be the last fight of the season for you? You're going to have a little bit of a break and then wait till September, or are you looking to get out? Because there's a few shows in July, isn't there, in the end of July?
Yeah, there is. I think it's going to be, obviously, it'll be Teddy's last one of the season. Liam's, I think I'll probably fight on this, and then that'll probably be me till next season. But I usually fight in July, but this time it's come forward to June, which I'm happy about anyway, because I'll be going away in July. Yeah, that's it. I mean, get a bit of time off in the summer then as well.
Because this is probably your busiest period of your career over the last 18 months. You've been quite active.
Yeah, I've been having 4 or 5 fights a year. You know, getting out of the gym, having a fight, being out of the gym a week, and then straight back in, right into an hard training camp again. So it only does me good. You know, I'm only learning in the gym, and it seems to be like the longer I have off after a fight, the harder it is for me to get back into the swing of things. So I like to be in and out, even though it is hard graft at the time. It's good to get straight back in the gym.
Well, I've been following you a long time, and I forget that. How old are you now? You're just 23, are you?
23, yeah.
You know, because I mean, I've probably been following you since you were 17 years old, and I forget. And you turned pro quite young, weren't you? 19 when you turned pro?
Yeah, 19. I turned pro. So yeah, I've been about. Everyone says the same thing to me. How old are you now? And when I say 23, they say, "Well, you seem to have been about for years."
So realistically, if you can pick that up at the end of the year, you know, or be in line for fighting for the English title, you're probably advanced by a couple of years for your age.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the perfect time around that. When you're 24, 25, you want to be up there around the British area, and then you can kick on from there. But I feel like the time's right. You know, Steve, I'll just leave it in charge of him. Really.
He's happy with the way everything's going.
Yeah. I just let him guide my career. You know, he's done a great job with Tedder, and along with the other lads that he's had, you know, he's always done a good job. So I just keep my head down, work hard in the gym, and listen to him.
Alright, well listen, good luck for the 16th. Hopefully I'll be chatting to you and you'll be 14-0.
Yeah, totally.
Take care, Dale. Bye.
Bye.